This is Mike and Adam, Fourth and Whatever podcast, episode 5, right? Is this 5?
Yep.
Man,
Five.
flies by. Make sure, guys, as usual, like and subscribe. If you want to stick around today, we've got some pretty interesting topics. I think today's going to be a fun episode. We're going to be ranking some mascots, picking who we think is our best college football team that we've personally witnessed. So it's not going to be like of all time, and then our whatever topic's going to be a big one. It's always controversial. How do you like your steak cooked? So there is a right answer to that. But anyways, we'll see what we think on that. But we'll go ahead and get right into it, Adam. We'll go with the mascots, man. And so what we're doing with this, we're going to pick our top 5 mascots, but we're not doing any order, right? We're just going to we decided that was too hard to try to narrowed it down to 5 is actually more difficult than I thought it was going to be.
I agree.
Yeah, so that was to put them in actually the 1 through 5 order is going to be real tough. And we'll kind of just go through here and compare what we got. As usual, we haven't discussed this. We discussed what we're going to do, but I don't know what Adam's top 5 is, and he don't know mine. So we'll kind of jump into it. I guess do you want us to say all 5 of them, or you just want to go back and forth on that? How do you want to do that?
I say we just kind of roll off all 5 of them. And I think it is really important to go ahead and just establish the fact that we kind of talked about it, and we're not going to include Smokey on these, correct?
Yeah, definitely forgot to mention that, but we're just too biased, man. It's gonna be he's our favorite, so and I realized that. I think you realized that, so we were like, all right, we're gonna have to leave Smokey out of this one because that is my man Adam's favorite mascot. So
that is correct.
Probably know that, so we'll go excluding. So I guess we should say just the next 5 spots belong to second place, pretty much. Because
there you go.
Smokey's number 1.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, man.
Yeah, for sure. So I'll go ahead and get kind of into it, man.
Yeah, roll with it.
First one I'm going to start off with, dude, for me is Michigan State Sparty. Dude, I was like, I honestly kind of forgot about Sparty. I was looking up the mascots and everything, and I was like, dude, Sparty's a cool mascot.
Dude, he is.
He just looks cool, dude. I mean, it's a Spartan. I love the colors, the green. There's just so I definitely had to go with Sparty on that one. And we put all these kind of teams bias to the side. By the way, there's one specifically on mine that I really wished I didn't have to put the team on there, but I do like their mascot. So second for me, like I said, this is not in any ranking them in this order, just how I have them here. My top 5 is Oregon. The Oregon Duck. Man, I've always thought the Duck was cool. The dude's got to be absolutely ripped to do as many push-ups as he has to do for that offense, dude.
Yes.
I mean, I think that's always been a cool thing, I thought, with Oregon, how they have him doing the push-ups for sure.
Yeah, I agree, man. He's a cool mascot, kind of classic looking.
Yeah, it's something. Yeah, it's not nothing too crazy, which is funny. Oregon's so flashy with their jerseys and everything, but he's just that classic Oregon Duck. Everybody knows him, So when you talk about Oregon, and then my other one is, dude, LSU Mike the Tiger for me. Now, some there is Auburn's got a tiger too that's very similar, but I just like the LSU colors better with that too. So I just think Mike the Tiger's cooler. So I definitely put him in my top 5 there. On that one.
With you, I agree with you on that one, and I'll add something in there about that. You said Auburn and LSU. If you look at both their mascots side by side, the LSU Tiger actually looks a little bit better. He's got a little bit of teeth showing.
Yeah,
he's got more of that yellowish color to his stripes. I think he's a much better looking tiger.
Yeah, for sure. They spend a little more time on him, it looks like.
Yeah.
And that's why, again, I went with the LSU one on that with Mike the Tiger. The next one for me, this is one that hurts a little bit. And it's the Georgia Bulldog, man, the mascot. He just looks mean, dude. That. They make it look like he's just a big, strong bulldog. And a fun fact on this one. So apparently the person that's in the costume, so the costume Georgia Bulldog, which is what we're basing these on. We're not basing them on the live animals or anything. But he's known as just literally hairy dog. According to ChatGPT, man, because I had to look that up. I couldn't find it. And it's hairy and then dog, DAWG. Of course, for the Georgia or the Bulldogs, they always use that way. So he is known as Hairy Dog, not the actual name of the dog, which is, I'm going to mispronounce this, I know, but it's Uga, right? Is that right?
Uga. Yeah, it's like Uga. I think it's Uga.
Yeah. Uga. Yeah, so the dog, because I was thinking of the dog's name, and then I realized that there was a difference there. So did not know that going into this.
And
And
Georgia
my
fans, feel free to correct us at the comments.
yeah,
If
yeah,
if we're crucifying his name, we do apologize.
yeah. I probably missed it. I looked up there's a difference in the names. I didn't look up how to pronounce it.
Right.
But yeah, that one, I just think that's a cool mascot. It's got to go in the top five there for me. This next one is actually kind of my one I try to throw out there, a little bit of one you wouldn't just think of as much, because it's not as big of a school, but I just think it's a really cool mascot. And it's the ECU Pirates.
Ooh.
Petey the Pirate, man. Petey the
Okay.
Pirate, dude. And he's just a cool and it's a pirate, dude. He's just cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I was looking at him and that's literally how I made my decisions. Some of them that I already knew. And then as I was kind of looking, I'm looking for ones that look cool, act cool. And there's just Petey the Pirate, dude.
Yeah.
He's going to round out my top five there on that. And, so yeah, I just think he's cool, dude. And I wanted to throw one in there too that I felt like was, probably overlooked a little bit. Not, not as big of a school as some of them,
Right.
but yeah. And I'm sure, the alumni at ECU would be like overlooked. He's great, but yeah, he's definitely in my top five there on that one. But interested to see what you got on that in comparison to the ones I have there for you.
Yeah, man, I agree with what you said. I found it much harder than I thought it was going to be to compile a list of five mascots. I mean, I originally wrote down five, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna roll with these. But then other teams kind of started coming to my head, and then before I knew it, I actually had like a top 10, believe it or not, like 9 or 10.
Dang.
Yeah, so shortly before the recording, actually, I did narrow it down to my top five. Like Mike said, this is in no order. We're not ranking them 1 through 5. We're just saying these are five of the coolest mascots that we feel personally, all team bias aside, and Smokey's still at number one. I'm gonna start things off, and it's funny. Spoiler alert, real quick. There's two teams on here that you and I both have on our list, so that's pretty cool. Starting off with my first one, I went ahead and went with the Arizona State Sun Devils, and
Oh,
his name is Sparky. So it's legit like I mean, a sun devilish head with like a football uniform on. He's got the pitchfork. Super cool mascot. And they actually, they got a little bit of national spotlight last year. They had a pretty successful season. So I think a lot of people would at least recognize them, maybe. I don't know. But I
yeah.
thought that mascot super cool. My second one is one that kind of maybe on the same level as your ECU pick with the Pirate, maybe not, maybe a little bit bigger of a school. Well, actually, a lot bigger of a school, but not as noticed as some of the other schools. We've got the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Yeah,
Yeah.
and their mascot's name is Pistol Pete.
That's a cool name.
It is, man, and
That's a cool name.
it's just like a little dude with a giant cowboy head.
Yeah.
And it's kind of odd because some of the other ones, on our list are kind of more like cartoonish, fluffy, fuzzy, plush, I guess would be the correct word for it.
Yeah.
But this one, Pistol Pete, he's actually a little more realistic, like detailed painting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I've always thought that mascot's super cool, man. My third one, it's one that you and I agreed on. I think it's kind of undeniable. I think it's a super awesome mascot, and that is Sparty of Michigan State, the
Nice. Yeah.
Spartans, dude.
It's cool, man.
It was a close duel between to make my list. It was a close duel between him and the USC Trojan. His name is Tommy, apparently. I looked all this stuff up like you did, man.
Yeah. Have to,
But
dude. Definitely.
But I think Michigan State's Sparty has the slight edge as far as overall look when it comes to my list. So I definitely threw Sparty from Michigan State on there. A super cool mascot for all the reasons you said.
Oh yeah.
It's a Spartan for one. Colors are pretty cool. He's got a mean looking face to him. Definitely going with Sparty on that one. Number 4, Georgia.
Okay. So that was the second one. Did that hurt a
Yeah,
little bit when you said it too? Because it hurt when I
uh,
said it.
it hurts a little bit, but it doesn't hurt near as much as my next one,
Oh
unfortunately.
man.
But Georgia, for all the reasons Mike said, of course, it's a mean looking bulldog, super huge looking. He's got the shoulder pads, he's got the spiked collar on, he's got the teeth showing. He's just a classic looking, cartoon looking bulldog. Kind of reminds me of the bulldog from, I think there's a bulldog on Tom and Jerry, maybe. At some point, there might be one on there.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Kind of
That's
looks like
one
that.
thing to the Bulldog thing.
Yes.
So yeah, Georgia fans, maybe we should just let the Bulldog be the one that's barking. We should let that. We should just let the dog stick to that
Instead of the fans.
instead of the fans. It's so stupid.
I agree. Oh man. So yeah, number 4, in comes Harry Dog. I was kind of taken back by the name too, man. You said you looked it up. I looked it up as well. Kind of maybe a little bit lazy on the naming of some of these, if you think about it.
Kind of surprised me.
Yeah, I mean Michigan State Sparty. I mean, they could have got a little more creative with the name, let's be honest. But yeah, Georgia Harry Dog rounding out the number 4 spot there for me. And then much like you said when you said that you wish you didn't even have to include this mascot on your list, I felt the same way about Georgia, to be honest with you. But this one right here, man, I almost can't believe that I'm including this team on my list. The only reason I'm doing it is because we clearly established that all team bias aside, all rivalry, history, hatred aside,
Yeah.
believe it or not, man, I went ahead and threw Florida, the Gator in there, man, to be honest with you.
I mean, I get it. It does look cool.
I did. And
That's
that's the sole reason I put him on there. No other reason why. Tennessee fans that watch this episode may actually just quit watching us altogether after hearing me say that. I'm not being sacrilegious by saying that because I am not wearing any Tennessee gear on this episode today. I just couldn't bring myself to mentioning anything positive about Florida. But Albert the Gator, super cool looking guy, man. I actually had a conversation with someone about this at some point, and we were both talking about how college football, I mean, to my knowledge, and there may be some small schools out there, but there's no other school that's mascot is a Gator. It's kind of like Florida's thing. If you think
That is
about
their
it,
thing, man. Yeah.
I mean, you've got a lot of wildcats, you've got a lot of tigers, you've got a lot of different types of birds, eagles, cardinals, what have you.
Yeah, I get it. That is true. It is the Florida thing.
But he's kind of cool looking. He's got the teeth, he's got the cartoonish looking head and all that stuff. If I were ranking them, he would be at the bottom. How I just do want to go ahead and put that out there. Number 5 spot, Albert
Yeah.
from Florida, the Gator.
Hey, look, it's a cool mascot, man. So,
It is.
yeah,
And
we're gonna have
I think we should both, since it kind of didn't take too much time to go through those. Did you have any honorable mentions? Maybe like one honorable mention that you want to throw out there that you really struggled with that didn't make your top 5?
Yeah, I mean, because I had to I think I'd narrowed it down to like 8 of them. One of them that I just think looks cool, honestly, is North Carolina's the Tar Heels. I don't know I can't remember what his name is, but that's a cool looking one. That's probably my honorable mention. He was right there on the edge, and then they're also UCF, the
Yeah.
Knights. And his got a pretty cool name. I just cannot remember it right now, but that was an honorable mention probably for me too. I'll give 2. I don't know but
Cool.
those 2 were right there close to being in my top 5.
I got a couple that I wanted to mention as well, just because there's just so many cool mascots, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we could have easily done a top 10 on this and made it an episode alone. But
For sure.
a couple honorable mentions for me. I'll just go ahead and name them. And yes, I am looking at my notes here. You've got Arkansas, believe it or not, the Razorbacks. I think that their mascot on the sidelines is really cool. His name is Big Red. Again,
Yeah,
kind of lazy with the name. He's got a big red head.
cool mascot there.
But super cool mascot, man. He's got the tusks. His eyes are kind of slanted and look kind of mean.
Oh yeah.
That's one of my honorable mentions. And my other honorable mention would have been I got to narrow it down real quick. I think I would probably go with, man, it's so tough. I'm just going to show my brother-in-law some love on this one. I'm going to go with Oregon, the Duck.
The
He
Duck.
he made your list. I'm going to go ahead and throw him in that honorable mention slot because he was on my list right there. So,
He's cool,
yep.
man. The Duck's
Yep.
cool.
He is, man.
I guarantee he can do more push-ups than most of the other mascots.
He can do more push-ups than me. That's a
Yeah,
fact.
he can do definitely more push-ups than me too. So the dude is out there doing a lot of push-ups. So he can work out in every game.
Yeah, my brother-in-law's a huge Oregon Duck fan, so shout out to him.
And even though Georgia fans out there is probably going to hate me after this episode, I got a buddy that I love to give a hard time about the barking thing, by the way. So if he sees this, shout out to him as well. Well,
No doubt.
it's all fun. It's all good fun.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But no, those are some cool mascots, dude. I was real excited to see kind of what you were going to say there. So I think it's cool that we did have a couple that were the same, and we had some kind of thrown out there in the honorable mentions and everything. But no, I like that we keep that completely authentic and
Yep.
don't tell each other what we're going to like there. I think it just kind of works out.
Yeah, and I think if you asked anybody to go ahead and just put all the bias aside, put your feelings
Yeah.
towards certain teams aside, I think you'd be surprised at who would pick who, man. I think a lot of people you'd see a lot of similarity in different people's lists and stuff like
Sure.
that. Just because some of these mascots out here are undeniable, man. They look super cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. I am.
Just comment what your favorite mascot is if anybody's out there watching it, because
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see what everybody thinks too. I'd love to see a poll on it too. You know, it would be really cool if they did like a mascot football game. Like I don't know how safety regulations will let that work. Straight up tackling in those suits, but just or maybe a flag football. What about mascot flag football game?
Yeah.
Like I don't know if they want like an end of the year roundup type thing, like the mascot bowl.
That would
I don't
be
know how you
awesome,
promote
dude.
teams, but maybe it's a draw. See who's on the teams.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, that's one of the things that a lot of people were upset with on the college football 25 game.
Yeah,
That there was, because in the old college football video games, there was a mascot game that you could play.
yeah, and it was cool.
And yeah, and it was freaking awesome. And the new one just came out. I do realize that. I haven't heard anybody say whether or not it's in there. I would imagine by now we would know whether or not it's in there because
Yeah,
people would just be posting stuff about it. But that's what comes to mind when you mention having something like that in real life.
yeah.
There used to be, that was as close as you could get, I think.
Yeah, I think. Like I said, I know they can't be tackling, dude. That might cross over a couple safety standards or something. I don't know, but flag football, we could always do something like that. But I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't be a big hit, but I just think they would at least do good for 1 year because everybody'd want to watch it for for a while.
Dude, I know for a fact I would watch it. It would be interesting to see, because some of those costumes, dude, I don't know how well the visibility is in those things, man. So it'd be kind of wild to see where people were running, where people were going. A lot of incomplete passes.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
Oh yeah, for sure, man.
I guess pass that on to ESPN if anybody hears that. So see if we get something. See if we're going to make a change out of that. I'm sure they're listening.
Yeah. Give us a little kickback on anything that's
Yeah,
any money that's made off of it.
yeah. That we said it here first.
You heard it here first.
But speaking of like things that we kind of kept quiet and didn't let each other know, our next topic's going to be what team do you think is the best college football team that you've actually witnessed? So, like, not really one of those all-time things of teams you've heard of or something like that. And when I was 4, I don't remember a team, that was playing, but like actually have witnessed play that you can think of in your lifetime of watching college football that you would say is the best college football team you've witnessed. And if I'm gonna let you start on that one since I went the mascots first. I'm just curious what you're gonna say on that and
Okay.
give a little insight on and see what we'll come up with.
Yeah, so this is a really cool topic, by the way. I've been kind of excited, I guess you could say, to talk about this one, man. And I racked my brain of all the different teams that I've seen play over the years, and I feel like there was a couple easy outs that I could have taken.
Yeah.
Could have taken probably any of the more recent Alabama teams, could have taken some of the more recent Georgia teams, etc. I kind of went back a little bit further than that. This would have been my senior year in high school, and I remember the hype around this team was really starting to hit its peak, and it's actually went beyond what it was then in current football now. But I don't know if you remember this team or not, but it would have been the 2010 Oregon Ducks. And I know that's a little bit out of left field, definitely showing the Ducks some love on this show today.
Yeah.
But what really stands out to me, and I know that this is probably not the most popular answer, but what really stands out to me is that team, I feel like they were part of the reason why you see teams play the way they play now. was spreading the field out, getting that high-powered, fast-paced offense. You had Chip Kelly down there at that time. He was the coach from 2009 to 2012, and I think he may be the key reason why that entire program kind of got turned around and now is still on the uptick
Yeah.
of college football. But in 2010, they had a 12-0 season. They went 13-1 overall. They went to the BCS. This is before the playoff era. They went to the BCS National Championship game. Unfortunately for them that year, they did lose to Auburn 22 to
Definitely.
19.
That's when Auburn
But I
had
just
Cam, right?
and I just remember watching that team, and I remember that's really around that time, dude. That's all you heard about on ESPN. That's what people were talking about, like at school, or I mean, I'm
Yeah.
assuming I wasn't working at that point, but I'm assuming people at work were talking about it. It was just like the biggest thing at that time, dude. Oregon was lighting people on fire, running up the scoreboard, scoring touchdowns. So they had an incredible season. Unfortunately, made it to that national championship game and got beat by Auburn.
It
Something
was
I
a close
found,
game, though, wasn't it? It was a crazy game. So I
yeah,
do remember that one. Yeah.
it was 22 to 19, so about
Yeah.
as tight as you can get. I mean, it's not like they went to SEC country and got beat by Auburn and got killed.
I think because Auburn drove down the field for that the game-winning field goal towards the end, and I
Yeah,
was thinking that was going to go to like overtime watching that game. But yeah,
yeah.
that team was great, dude.
Yeah, so something that I found pretty incredible was that during Chip Kelly's tenure at Oregon, which again was from 2009 to 2012, so not a very long
Yeah.
amount of time, dude went 46-7.
Dang, dude. That's wild.
46-7. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Speaking of just that particular season in 2010, their quarterback, not too familiar with these guys, but Oregon fans or just football enthusiasts, you may recognize these names. I just wanted to throw some stats out there real quick about the two players that kind of stuck out on that team. You've got the quarterback. His name was Darren Thomas. For the year, he was 61% throwing the ball, just shy of 3,000 passing yards, had 30 touchdown passes, and he also ran the ball for almost 500 yards that season. So I thought that was a really, really notable performance. Also, their running back, LaMichael James, he won the Doak Walker Award that year, scored 21 rushing touchdowns, and just shy of 1,800 yards rushing. So I just wanted to throw a couple of the key contributors for that team.
Yeah.
But I picked them, and I'm not going to just keep rambling on about it, but I picked them simply because I just vividly remember it, dude. During that time, that is literally what everyone was talking about.
Yeah.
So shout out to the 2010 Oregon Ducks,
Yeah.
man. That's the team that I'm choosing just because I vividly remember that team the most.
Right. I like it, dude. I like something a little different. And there's going to be people out there right now that's going to be like, they didn't even win the championship. How can they? And I know, but this also is kind of based on what we remember witnessing and how, like, a team,
Yeah.
we've also seen teams be dominant through the season and happen to lose a championship game by a close margin,
Mhm.
but the
Yes.
rest of the season, like, maybe look like they were the favorites or something, which Cam Newton was a beast in college, so they ran into that, but,
Yeah.
and yeah, so I definitely, that was a great team, man. I like that answer.
Yeah.
Definitely threw me. I didn't know what you were gonna pick because I knew it was gonna be something a little different. I know you said it might not be what I'm thinking, or
Yeah.
an obvious. Mine, dude, is probably a little more obvious, and I think you have an idea just because of the team I've talked about. We really didn't discuss this, but I know like I've kind of put some praise on this team before in the past, but and maybe it won't be the team you're thinking, but
Might not.
mine was the Joe Burrow LSU Tigers team. Dude, that team, and the reason, I mean, plenty of reasons, is kind of self-explanatory, I'd say. But for me, watching it, I was just like, the level of dominance they had, man. I know when they played Oklahoma in the playoffs and he threw for 7 touchdowns or something, was it 6 or 7? I was just like, they're not losing. This team is
Ridiculous.
this will be your national champion. And I knew like they still had another game left, but
Yeah.
kind of sensed that from them all year. I mean, they had that, some close games still, but aside from that, like if you look back on that team, dude, Joe Burrow, he's a starting NFL quarterback. I mean, and he was very close to winning the Super Bowl. A lot of people, like during that Super Bowl, Aaron Donald got to Joe Burrow just in time because Jalen Ramsey had actually slipped and fell, and Jamar Chase was wide open down the field on like a last play, and that would have been a last play game winner right there.
Yeah.
I mean, again, that's a what if, but just so close. That's how close it was, And you got Jamar Chase, which is funny that ended up being one of his receivers. But like Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson, I would think most people would say and argue that they're two of the best receivers right now in the league. And then even was it Clyde Zeller, the running back? He went to KC for a little bit. He went to the NFL. I mean, so many of those players went to the NFL, dude.
Yeah.
But the offense was absolutely silly. I mean, I know the defense wasn't bad. That's the thing. Like it was a decent defense
Right.
with a phenomenal offense.
Right.
It's like the defense didn't have to do a lot, but they were good enough to win games. And then you
Yes.
threw in just an absolutely absurd offense. So I know I'm kind of rambling now at this point too, but that's like my reasoning for it is like actually watching them, seeing them just dominate in the playoffs against Oklahoma in that game when they had Jalen Hurts and had done so well. And it's just like LSU just came in and just punched teams right in the gut, man, and just
Yeah.
went undefeated and just won it. I mean,
Yep.
and I think that was a year that everybody, I mean, there's people that would have probably argued differently that year, but I felt like the majority of people knew LSU was going to win the championship
Yep.
towards the
Yep.
end of that season and kind of midway through. That was mine for sure. Just on that, just such a dominant college football team,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. I mean, I think like early on in that season, dude, it was pretty clear, like you said, they were undeniable.
Yeah,
You probably didn't win too much money if you bet on them winning the Natty because everyone bet on them winning the Natty, right? The odds weren't stacked against them
yeah,
whatsoever. The fact that the quarterback and a couple of those receivers were just that in sync and had that much chemistry with each other and knew exactly where they were going to be on the field and where to put the ball to where only they could catch it. They were electrifying, man.
crazy, man,
So much fun to watch.
crazy.
Yeah, super awesome. Great choice. I will be honest. I kind of knew you were going to pick them. To be honest, I think
I've
in a
talked
past,
about them before, but just
yeah,
in general, like
in a past episode, I think you mentioned something about 2019 Joe Burrow or something
yeah,
like that. I think. But anyway,
mm,
yeah, super
yeah,
sweet, man. Like we said at the beginning of this episode, we knew this is going to be a fun episode. Kind of some different topics.
yeah.
We don't claim to be just a Tennessee football podcast. We clearly established that we're going to talk about a lot of different stuff. This is the fun stuff, right? I mean, talk about
Yeah.
mascots and teams of the past that were dominant and stuff like that. Maybe my answer for the best team of all, in my opinion, not of all time, but best team that I've seen play, maybe a little controversial. We do have another topic that is highly controversial and has nothing to do with football, has nothing to do with sports, but it seems to be something that people debate time and time again. People stand on their ground when it comes to what they feel about it and how they feel about it. And that leads us directly into the whatever topic of the day, which we didn't get to do one last week, but we're back with another whatever topic, and that is the infamous question: how should a steak be cooked?
Oh yeah.
What level of doneness should a steak be at when it's either served to you at a restaurant or you're on the grill or whatever you cook it on at the house? Where are you stopping? Where are you pulling that bad boy off the grill and saying this is it? What do you think, man? Because you seem pretty passionate about this.
I am. I'm very passionate, and this is the great thing about opinions. There's always opinions, and there's no wrong opinion except with steak. There's a correct way to cook a steak, and any other opinion is wrong. And so I'll just start right there, and I will argue with anybody about a good steak. But
I
I
hope
do
we
love
don't end up
steak.
arguing, just for the
Do what?
record. I hope we don't end up arguing, just for
We
the
could
record.
be completely off. So I'll tell you there's a couple, I will say there's a couple ways that could be, I will accept if that makes it, you know what I mean? Like I can accept it in a couple ways. But for me personally, it's medium rare.
Okay.
It is a medium rare steak. Now, certain steaks can kind of fluctuate a little bit on whether, if you want a prime rib, it's got to be medium rare. If you want most of them, in my opinion, needs to be medium rare, ribeyes and stuff like that. But
Gotcha.
prime rib, I know, is one of those that specifically is cooked that way in restaurants. If you order it, I will accept medium for those that do like medium and wants a little less pink and wants it to, but it's still pink with the medium. So I
Yep.
accept medium. I prefer medium rare. is the way that I think they need to be steaked. Now, there's different ways you can cook a steak, like grilling it and pan searing, and cast iron, and all that, and smoking it. And I accept those ways. Some of those for me just kind of depends on what I feel for that or the type of steak and everything. But if we're talking specific way I want the steak cooked, I'm obviously joking, but I'll joke stop. But I do believe there's a certain way to cook steak. So, but what about you, Adam? We'll discuss it. But what is your opinion on how the steak should be cooked in your preference?
Yeah. So it doesn't seem like you're going to be too upset with me from what you just
Okay,
said.
that's good.
I am a medium type of guy. So I like it. I like to have plenty of pink in there. I like the pink to be, not overly done, but
Yeah,
I absolutely do not want it anything more than medium.
yeah,
So it just
that's fair.
ruins it, man. It ruins it, makes it tough, what have you. As long as, and you make a good point because I can go to almost medium rare, maybe even medium rare, but I'm more of a medium guy. Definitely retaining some of those juices, retaining that
Yeah,
flavor, not absolutely cooking the crap out of it to where all the juice runs out of it and you're eating a piece of
yeah,
beef jerky more or less.
for sure,
Yeah,
for sure.
definitely a medium guy. I will go ahead and just tell you how I prefer to cook it. So not necessarily the doneness or the level of temperature or whatever, but
Yeah, yeah,
how I like to cook it. So before I ever got a smoker, I always just kind of seared them in the skillet. Maybe even did like the reverse sear thing where you cook it in the
yeah.
oven for a bit, then take it out and sear it on both sides. But ever since I got my smoker, man, and kind of dialed in my own little take on a steak on the smoker, that's the only way I like them now.
Good.
Yeah, I season them up pretty good. Put my smoker on just the smoke setting, so it's not a lot of heat. I smoke that bad boy for about 30 minutes or so, pull it off, crank the temp all the way up, and then I cook that thing on both sides for about 3 minutes or so.
Oh yeah, dude.
Phenomenal.
I've
Phenomenal.
I've done that honestly. I mean, it's probably kind of a pointless method, like not pointless, but no need to have two things going. But I've actually heated up my grill before and got it like hot to get
Yeah,
that little grill char and take it out of the smoker and char the sides of them too. Pretty good.
nice. Nice.
I do like that. I did cook a filet mignon not too long ago with like the classic way of like you putting in the cast iron and searing both sides of it, and then putting it in the oven, letting it cook through
Yep.
the tin. And of course, the butter and rosemary and all. I mean, there's all the other stuff to put to the steak when you're cooking and that.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, dude, I think I'll accept your way, the medium on that. I wanted to throw that out there. I do accept that at least. If you like medium well and well done, to, to each their own. It's just I absolutely would not take your opinion into consideration if I was asking you about steak. It's like I don't know. It sounds like I wouldn't be able to trust it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if you told me you wanted medium well or well done on your steak, and you told me that steakhouse is good, I'd be like, I'm gonna have to go figure that out for myself first. Actually, my wife used to when she was younger. She didn't know this. Her parents always cooked it well, like well done, pretty much. She didn't
Yeah.
even know that there was another option
Yeah.
for how to cook your steaks, and she didn't really like steak growing up. And
Wow.
and it's not that it's like her favorite food in the world now, but like when she first was able to eat one like medium, and like she's probably more of a medium. She'll do medium rare, but she's a medium. And
Yeah.
when she ate it that way, she realized like how much she did actually like it. So I've known of a couple different circumstances like that, and there is just more flavor to a steak
There is,
cooked
without a
that way
doubt.
and more juices to it. So, and I'm pretty sure like what is the whole thing where everybody thinks it's blood, but it's really not at that point. Now, if you're getting
Yeah.
rare or something, and I don't even go like that, like blue rare stuff like that. And I
That's too
do
much.
think you should know where like you're, look, make sure you're getting at a good place. I try to get like meat that's going to be a good product, and not some. I'm not taking up like some sketchy, steak that I found somewhere like and just throwing it in there. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I'm medium rare, but I'll accept medium. So
Yep. Speaking of steaks, real quick.
someone's gonna comment.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, keep going.
Com No, you're good. You are right. Go ahead and comment down below however you like your steak, medium rare. Those are the only answers we're going to accept at this moment. My apologies beforehand. Speaking of steaks, obviously the biggest thing is how it's cooked. I think we've established that. But the next biggest thing is the cut. So share with us real quick before we hop off here. What do you think your favorite cut of steak is? I've already got mine in my head.
I go back and forth sometimes just because I'll try like one that I'll really, and I'm an expensive cut type guy to an extent. I love ribeye. And if you count, and see, I'm trying to think of it as like something you would get because prime ribs cooked so differently. Prime rib is my favorite cut of steak that I could possibly have.
Okay.
And then ribeyes right there is my like go to most of the time for aside from that.
Gotcha.
I would have to say there. And
Okay.
if I had the money to try Wagyu, it would probably be there, but
Yeah.
I've not tried that. So I do
Yeah,
plan
man. I
on.
wish.
I would like to get. I mean, like legit, like Wagyu steak too.
Right.
Japanese A5s.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe one day you and I can get together, special occasion type event.
yeah. That
Who
that
knows,
definitely
right?
has to be a special occasion, yeah, for sure. But
Yeah.
yeah,
So for me, pretty simple. I got two go-tos that I really enjoy. Number one for me is probably the New York strip. Definitely the most meat, really no fat, unless it's just right there on that one side. You know, you got the pretty thick strip of fat right there. You can sear that up and make it taste incredible. New York strip, number one for me. When I'm feeling a little bit wild and I want to just have a gigantic steak, always T-bone for me, man. Grabbing a good T-bone,
yeah.
those are my two favorites that I like. Growing up, I think my parents, they really enjoy ribeyes. More power to them. I know a lot of people love ribeyes. You got a lot of that fat in there that creates a lot of good flavor and stuff like that. Me, I'm a New York strip T-bone kind of guy.
Maybe you need to try like a tomahawk.
I'd love to, dude. I'm going to one
Pretty
day. I
cool.
promise.
Yeah,
I
that'd be a
promise.
good one.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, dude. I mean, with steak though, I mean, I'm not a picky type. I mean, I have my favorites, but I'm not a hater when it comes to steak. If you like sirloin, if you like, New York strip, if you like ribeye, that I just like steak. So like I can see people's opinion on it
Me too, man.
being different on those, but for sure. But again, if I know there's gonna be some comments in there, but it's still mooing. If go ahead and tell us how wrong you like your steak.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Well, I think we've said everything we wanted to say. What do you think, man?
Think so, man. And just kind again, like we say in every video, I know it probably sounds like we're beating a dead horse with this, but it is important just to remind you all to like and subscribe if you want to continue to hear more content from us. It
Yes.
just helps us out too, and then it'll help you guys with as we come out with more episodes because we're gonna do this every episode comes out every Tuesday morning, 10 a.m. Football season starts. It's gonna get ramped up just a little bit too.
Oh
So
yeah.
but we got some fun topics coming at you before the season starts. We've been brainstorming a little bit on some fun stuff. So
Yeah.
definitely looking forward to that. And football is not that far away.
I think you and I both
Exciting
looked at
stuff.
something to, I think you and I both looked at something today that said there's like 50 days,
Yeah.
give or
To
take.
Tennessee has a game. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
man.
I'm not, I love summer, so I don't like wishing summer away, but when football comes back. But yeah. Anything else you want to add on this, Adam?
No, I do think that it's just important to go ahead and just thank everyone that has subscribed to the channel. Thank everyone that's been tuning in every week. It means a lot to us. We're just trying to grow this thing, reach out to everyone. If you happen to stumble across the channel by something that we've shared or word of mouth, or if it just pops up in that algorithm, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. Go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel. We do appreciate it. And Mike and I will be back with more content every week, man. We love it.
Absolutely. Man, I'll see you, dude.
All right, brother. Take care.